80. Filing written statement. Pronouncement of judgment is discretionary. Under section 114 of CPC, review is maintainable. Review. An appeal is provided but no appeal is preferred. No appeal is provided. Under section 114 of CPC, in which of the following cases it was held that the second appeal is permissible only if finding is perverse. It was held that the second appeal is permissible only if finding is perverse. Dinesh Kumar versus Yusuf Ali. In which of the following cases it is held that the second appeal is permissible only if finding is perverse. Dinesh Kumar versus Yusuf Ali. AR 2010. Under which provision of CPC the court has jurisdiction to reject the plaint which does not disclose a cause of action or whether there is suppression of material. The court has jurisdiction to reject the plaint which does not disclose a cause of action or where there is suppression of a material. Order 7, Rule 11. Provision of CPC. The court has jurisdiction to reject the plaint or to disclose a cause of action or where there is suppression of a material. Order 7, Rule 11. Cause of action. Where there is suppression of material. Supreme Court, in which among the following cases observed that CPC Amendments Act of 1999 and 2002 are constitutionally valid. Supreme Court, in which among the following cases observed 9. Salim Advocate Bar Association, Tamil Nadu vs. Union of India. Salim Advocate. Among the following cases observed their CPC Amendment Acts. In which cases the Supreme Court held that section 100A CPC, which is substituted by CPC Amendment Act, will not have retrospective effect even though it brings within its fold those appeals referred prior to coming into force of the said Amendment Act. Supreme Court had held the section 100A CPC with it is substituted. Kamala Devi Kuskal Kanwar. CPC which is substituted by the CPC Amendment Act. Retrospective effect even though it brings within its fold. Following cases observed CPC Amendment Act 1999-2002 validity. Salim Advocate vs. Tamil Nadu. Which the following section provides definition shared household under the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. Domestic violence, section 2S. Shared household under the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. Section 2S. Which of the following section provides Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. The Supreme Court in Satish Chandra Ahuja versus Seho Ahuja 2020 held that the following needs to be established for the determination of whether a suit property was shared household or not. In the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, violence includes economic violence, sexual violence. Whether a protection official fails to discharge his duties as directed by magistrate without any sufficient cause, there he shall be liable to be punished with imprisonment or with fine or with both. The protection officer fails to discharge his duties as directed by magistrate without any sufficient cause, there he shall be liable to be punished with imprisonment or with fine. Protection officer fails to discharge his duties as directed by magistrate without any sufficient cause, there he shall be liable to be directed by the magistrate to be punished with imprisonment or with fine or with both. He shall be liable. Protection officer fails to discharge his duties directed by the magistrate. Actually, when did Domestic Violence Act come to force? 26 October 2006. 26 Protection Officer. When did domestic The notice of the date of hearing fixed under Section 12 of the Domestic Violence Act. Fixed under Section 12 of the Domestic Violence Act shall be given by magistrate of the Protection Officer. A notice of date of hearing fixed under Section 12 Domestic Violence Act 2005 shall be given by the magistrate to the Protection Officer. Child under protection of women from the Domestic Violence Act 2005 includes foster child, stepchild, adopted child. Child under the protection of women from the Domestic Violence Act. Stepchild, adopted child. These are the protection order under the section 31 or 32 of the Domestic Violence Act 2005 shall be an offence which is breach of protection order under section 31-32 cognizable and non-bailable. Breach of protection order under section 31 and 32 of the Domestic Violence Act cognizable and non-bailable. Protection of women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 derives its support from Article 14, 15 and 21 of Constitution. Domestic Violence Act 2005 derives its support from 14, 15, 21. Non-bailable. Protection of order under section 31 and 32 of the Domestic Violence. Women from the Domestic Violence Act, adopted child, stepchild, foster child. Women from domestic violence. Child under the protection of women. Notice date of hearing. A notice of date of hearing fixed under section 12 of the on foreign contracts. Under the law of limitation, suits can be filed within 3 years. Suits can be filed within 3 years of the Limitation Act 1963 of what is contemplated by the section 70. The defendant Section 6 of Limitation 63 does not apply in case of appeal. Section 5 of the Limitation Act for condonation of delay. Only criterion. The Limitation Act 1963 applies for the condonation. The delay does not matter. Acceptability of the explanation is the only criterion. For term loan, the period of duration is 3 years from due date of payment each installment. The Limitation Act. The defense